What's up guys, my name is Josh, and I've had a lot of questions over the few months that I've been doing daily videos now about what music I listen to. And there's a couple of truths behind what music I listen to. Just so you guys know, I'm going to share a Google playlist of a few of the songs that I think I have about like 36 on there. My preferred service is actually Google Play, simply because they have the most amount of songs. They have about 5 million more songs than Spotify. For a streaming service, I just want something that's simple and that has pretty much any available song that's out there, at least as many as I can have. That's the only reason why I chose Google Play. And I shouldn't have to have this disclaimer in there, but of course I don't do the majority of my listening on Google Play. I have tons of files on my computer. Yes, I add streaming services into the mix when I'm on the go, when I'm testing anything like that. But for the majority of it, no, it's not on streaming services. This is just the only way that I can share it with you so that you can go and listen to it yourself. Let me know what you think. Okay, so earlier I said that there were kind of multiple truths to how I listen to music, and that's definitely true. I have playlists. I have probably about 100 songs that I feel like I know really, really well, and then probably 10 of those 100 I know every in and out and nuance of that song. Like I really know that song. Songs that you could name any 5 seconds of and I could tell you exactly what to expect, what to listen to in that song. And there's only about 10 of those and about 100 songs that I feel like I have a really good understanding. And then the rest, and generally how I tend to listen to all of my music, is pretty much just on shuffle and the random button. I have it set up in foobar, so I just hit a button and goes to a random track. And then anytime I don't hit the button, it basically just plays from that list. So if I go on an album that I really like, I just let it play. That being said, for time purposes, I'm not gonna go over every song in here. I'm just gonna go over the few highlights. Right now I have this kind of listed as Test Music 6. And I'm just gonna kind of go over a few of the key points that I like, some of the key songs. It's not in any particular order or anything like that. These are just some of the songs that I use. And another thing to note is that this is like my testing playlist. These are all songs that I like, with the exception of a few which are purely just for technicality and listening for certain specific things, and that's what they're on this list for, and I'll explain those when I see them. Now, because this is my kind of testing playlist, there are various qualities, various types of sounds, various genres that I have in here. They're in no particular order. If I don't have anything on here, odds are I probably honestly have it on my computer. But if I don't, it's not because I don't like the artist, it's just not really a song that I felt like I needed to add. Okay, so you have Tom Sawyer by Rush, classic song. I've heard it for years. My dad was playing it when I was like a baby, and he was playing the drums and stuff, and he'd always play that on like the radio and stuff. And I kind of grew up with this song, so I just got to know it very well. Mountains by Hans Zimmer. So this song I used for testing dynamics, and about halfway through you get this really epic crescendo and then just this blast of an entire organ. But a lot of amps can't really power everything that's going through there, and you on certain amps can get all the detail, all the quality you want, and then on other amps you can't. Same thing with certain headphones. So good. It's so good for testing dynamics. And then City Burns by Andra. A lot of people don't know about her, but she's an amazing vocalist, like a really amazing female vocalist. On certain tracks, not every track, she kind of reminds me of a mix between Adele and Sia, whatever it is. You know who I'm talking about. The girl with like the bangs. The Foggy Dew by The Chieftain. So not the best recorded song in the world, but I love this song so much. Lost One by Enigma. Actually, the Lost Ones album by Enigma is a very good imaging and soundstage album. I highly recommend checking that out. It's mostly electronic. It's not gonna be like a more natural sounding soundstage like Africa by Toto or anything like that, but it's definitely very good for testing imaging. Then you have Night Train by Christian McBride. Love that song as well. Motherboard by Daft Punk. There's a sound on the right side, and this is gonna play in mono, so forgive me. But there's a kind of like a beating of, it's not a drum, I don't know what the instrument is. It's some sort of electronic sound on the right side that has a certain like roundness and softness while also being crisp. And depending on the headphone, it appears in like a bunch of different ways. Speakers play it differently. Every headphone that I've ever tried plays that sound significantly differently, and I always listen to see how that sound is played. Besame Mucho by Andrea Bocelli. Great male vocals, great test. Johan Johansson's soundtrack for Sicario. He has the song Convoy, which is great for testing bass. Laurel Life Worth Living, another great female vocalist. A Tale of Tongues by Maluka is one of those things that's there because of, well, one, I like the song and the game. Skyrim is awesome, but their quality is not really on par with some of the other music that's on here. Welcome to the Machine by Pink Floyd. Shouldn't have to explain that one. I Loved Another Woman, the remastered version by Snowy White. Great. Space Oddity by David Bowie. This song is special to me. I had a Great Dane and his name is Voodoo. I'll put up a picture here. And one day his stomach started to bloat, and it turned out that he had a tumor and he was actually bleeding into his stomach, and we had to put him down. And while I was driving him to the vet, that was the song that was playing on the radio, and it was very emotional for me, and I've just latched onto that song ever since. It's very sad every time I hear it, and I don't know why I do that to myself, but I just can't let go of the song. I can't let go of it. And if you listen to it, if you take death into the consideration of what they're talking about, it's very eerie. Like, it's such a weird, dramatic and emotional song that people take for like for base value, but it has such an underlying surface value to it. It's crazy. Seven Nation Army by the White Stripes, very good sound. Not the cleanest recording, and that's kind of what I listened for, is the kind of dirt and grit of the recording. Another great band for that I don't think I have on here is the Black Keys. They have great gritty recordings if you're into listening to that stuff. Ain't No Sunshine by Christy Berry. This is a very soft song, and I think it's about 53 seconds in. You can hear a door close in the background, and I listen for those kind of those background noises of a live recording that you're not really supposed to pick up. Money by Pink Floyd, of course. Africa by Toto, like I mentioned. Toto is very great, like deep and rhythmy drums, and I like them a lot, and they're great for testing lower mid-range to the upper ranges of bass. Journey to the Roots is a great song. I love that recording. Scott Bradley's Postmodern Jukebox, Side to Side. I forget who the artist who sings there is, but he has an amazing male voice. It's not very deep, but the quality of his voice is definitely there. The Urukai from Howard Shore's Lord of the Rings soundtrack. I think this is from, The Two Towers. This is an amazing large-scale song, and it's just epic. And on the right sound system, especially for like great speakers, it sounds gigantic, just absolutely massive. Roseanna by Toto. I do like Toto quite a bit. Amy Winehouse's Back to Black, I'm sorry. Great song, not the cleanest recording, but that's kind of the purpose of it. Almost done here. Anna Tijot's 1977. So she's actually I think she's French, female rapper. And I like listening to certain songs in other languages. Not necessarily a better, but a different understanding of how human language works and how human language sounds, because when I say a word, you don't even realize it, but when I'm halfway through a word, you've already somewhat gone through all the predictions of the word that I'm about to say. When you take that prediction out of the equation and you're listening to something that does not have any assumptions with it, it can honestly be really enlightening. Also with different languages and different dialects, but you get these sounds out of vocals that are not normally created by like English song. It's that difference in perspective that I personally really value. Then we have I Got You by the White Buffalo, great male vocalist, very deep. I actually have two vocalists in a row after this. I have Adele's Hello, partly because the ranges that she hits in there tends to make speakers and headphones like die. I don't know what it is. It's somewhere between like that 5,000 hertz, that 1,000 to 5,000 hertz range, that just makes some speakers like bleed, and they just can't handle it at a respectable volume without completely falling apart. So it's a good test for me. And on top of that, I do genuinely like the song. Even though she's not really singing about anything in particularly interesting, and it's kind of a really basic story, but her singing is just amazing. Hymn by Sam Smith, great kind of mid-range focus for the vocals, both lower mid-range and upper mid-range. Shining Toy Guns, Major Tom, great. A little bit of rain in the beginning. They have this really unbridled trumpet, and I test for sibilants in certain ranges here. It's a great test to see if a headphone is like too bright or peaks anywhere in particular. Innocente but Romeo Santos is a great, actually that whole album is, but that song is specifically a great imaging and great soundstage album. I highly recommend checking that out. Bubbles and Wandering. So these are technicality songs. These are songs that, sure, they're enjoyable. I like listening to them, but they're not like my favorites. They're not like classics or anything like that. I mean, they're enjoyable, but they're not like on my list of songs that I love or anything like that. But they're highly, highly technical, great for imaging and soundstage. Passenger by Hunter as a Horse, very, very good. And then Coco by Kaleida. Now, I think it's actually a group of girls, and their music's just fantastic. I highly recommend checking them out. They were used in the movie John Wick, and that's where I got a hold of their first major song, which is Think, and ever since then I've been hooked on all their stuff. So I'm gonna leave this in the description down below for you guys to check out. You know, let me know what music you're into and why. and let me know what you think of my playlist. Do you think that I'm missing a particular genre, or I'm not testing for everything? I'd love to hear what you think in the comment section down below. Subscribe if you're not already. I do new videos every single day. Sorry that this has been such a long video, but yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.